was trying to be what everyone else told me to be up until that point. And it clearly didn't get me nowhere. So it was like, okay, I clearly got to do something different.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Qualified Conversations, where we have in-depth conversations with those who are, in fact, qualified. So, first and foremost, before we get started, please make sure that everybody out there watching, make sure y'all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that y'all tap in and follow everything that we post on the channel. My name is Jerz, and we're sitting here with somebody special in the building, right? Because I remember years ago, Spike Lee had a version of Absolute, and it was the Brooklyn version, and on the back of it, it says, no matter where you are in the world, Brooklyn is always in the house. That always stuck with me. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to my people in from Brooklyn. And I'm saying that for a reason, because Brooklyn is in the building once again. We have an amazing soul, an amazing spirit, full of energy. Y'all gonna soon see exactly what I'm talking about. So, hailing from Brooklyn, New York City, we have with us the Fairy Brandmother. How are
Ooh.
you?
I am blessed and highly favored, Jerry.
Talk about it.
I am, and I'm happy to be here. Oh my God, he said I'm qualified.
I believe
Period.
that you are, right? Let's kind of jump into a little bit of that. Now, again, this is a platform for people who are in fact qualified, right?
Period.
The way that this interaction kind of came about, we were out at an event
Mm-hmm.
and we were just waiting in line,
Right. Getting libations.
getting libations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm an energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an energy guy, and all of
too.
the time,
Well, I'm not a guy.
I'm able. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All of the times, I'm just able to pick up on good energy, right?
Mhm.
And we just kind of start talking in line. You
Mm-hmm.
never know who you're talking to. You never
That's
know
a
who you're standing
fact.
next to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had no idea that you had all of the things going on that you do, which we'll get into,
Mm-hmm.
and the same for me. So
Likewise.
that's
Yep.
what kind of brought us here.
Yes.
Happy that you were able to join us,
Yeah.
and happy that the people will be able to learn more about you.
Yes. Oh my God. Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Yes, anytime. So, let's jump right into it. Now, you call yourself the Fairy Brandmother.
Yes, sir.
I like that name. It's catchy.
Uh-huh.
I could assume a lot of different things on what that might particularly mean,
Right.
but you are the brand mother.
Is.
And so I want
Yeah.
you to kind of tell us, what is the Fairy Brandmother? Like, how, yeah, talk about
And
that.
kind of how that came
How,
about.
how did that come about? I mean, where did that come from? Was there an inspiration? I'm sure.
Mhm.
So, yeah, speak a little bit about the brand of the Fairy Brandmother.
Yes. So, hey, y'all. I am the Fairy Brandmother. I build brands that stay in demand and I bring vision to life. So, with that being said, I am the one you call when it's time to execute and make your brand look amazing. Okay. The Olivia Pope. I execute, period. Okay. So, how the Fairy Brandmother came about. I have been branding businesses now for almost 8 years. I started my business in the homeless shelter. Okay. And I can dive into that a little bit more in a second. But at some point, I had to start paying attention to what people were referring to me as. Because the name of my business is Our Image Matters LLC, right? And my real name is Sabria L. But I started to pay attention to the fact that the people that were coming to me were like, yo, no one gets my vision like you. And more people kept saying, yo, you're like a fairy godmother. Like, you just bring, and it just happens,
life, yeah.
right? And I had been in a transitional phase in my business where I was really trying to just solidify myself, just kind of get my feet in the ground where I know that I know that I know who I am, kind of thing. And God has a way of bringing you around to that. It's never the way you think.
Right.
And I promise you, I had an epiphany one day after I had a conversation. Someone called me boohoo crying and was like, I just wanted to call to say thank you because she has spent thousands of dollars with other people and they destroyed her business.
Mm.
And she barely knew what to tell me, but I got it and I brought it to life and I branded her logo, her website. I even did a whole full campaign for her. And she cried and she was like, "Thank you so much. You're like my fairy godmother of like branding." And it was like,
Light
and God was like, "Mm-hmm, girl. I was trying to tell you." And from then I said I need to hone in on this
Yeah.
because clearly that's my
Calling.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was my calling at first. I really didn't. I was kind of thrown into this.
Yeah.
So I guess going back to when it started, right? All right, guys. So when I started my business, December 2016, I ended up homeless, and my daughter was about 1.5 at the time. So I'm in this shelter and in the Bronx, okay, because that's where they send all the women and children in New York, and when they finally put me in our room, and I closed the door and I locked the door behind me, I had a sense of peace and gratitude because this was technically my first place. So
like on your own.
yes.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, thank you, God.
Okay.
But damn, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this is not how I envisioned this would be. But after I got over myself, because of course I had to have moments where I fell apart because I couldn't believe I was in this position.
How did I get here? Yeah.
How did I get here? Right. But I had a moment where I was like, you know what, God, if you bring me out of this, I will do whatever it takes to go where you're telling me to go. And I started putting up sticky notes on the wall of things that I wanted to do. And then, boom, someone randomly called me one day and was like, "Hey, I know this place in New Jersey that's giving business classes." And I was like, "Well, girl, what that got to do with me?
Right.
I didn't ask you that." Like,
Yeah.
and the Holy Spirit was like, "Girl, shut up." Like, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." And they had a grant program because, of course, the first thing I'm thinking is, I can't pay for this right now. Why are you telling me this? You know where I'm at. So I just applied, and of course, they accepted me. I started traveling from Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, because that's where my shelter was, to Jersey City every week to take these classes. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I was confused the entire time because I was the only service-based. Everyone had products. They could make stuff. They could put it in front of you and say, "This is what I have. Buy it."
This is what I do, yeah.
And me, I'm like, I do things. Believe me. Like, I didn't know how to. And I automatically assumed that, like, maybe I was supposed to help people find jobs or fix their resume or something because everyone kept coming to me for answers, automatically assuming that I knew.
You know.
And I was like, y'all pissing me off right now because I'm in here with y'all.
Yeah.
But at the end of the classes, this same friend called me and was like, "Hey, so I told somebody that you could build their website and I gave them your number." I was like, "Girl,
like why you put me out
why
there?
would you?
Yeah.
Where did you get this information?" I was so pissed. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was upset, but I didn't know how to say no. What was I gonna do? Get on the phone and be like, "Sorry, she lied." Like,
Right,
I didn't know, but I took the job. And then they referred me to someone else, and then they referred me to someone else. And eventually that grew to, oh, snap, I'm really good at this. I didn't go to school for it.
Mhm.
Like, God gave me the gifts for this stuff.
Mhm.
And then came those moments where I started to pay attention to what people were saying to me. And then was when I realized, this is what my calling is. This is what God wants me to do. Hence, the Fairy Brandmother being born.
No, that's beautiful for a bunch of reasons, right? I want to start with what is very apparent and clear
Mm-hmm.
and abundantly clear from the rip.
Mm-hmm.
You're a very spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
You seem very grounded in your relationship with God and your understanding of there being a purpose for you,
Yes.
a purpose ordained from Him to you or for you from Him. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? Like,
all of the things.
and
Yeah.
it sounds to me that although you had to learn, and probably maybe still learning, right? Because we all
Oh yeah.
hard headed, but
Right.
it seems like you have learned
Yeah.
how to be obedient.
That part. Mm.
Because it sounded like early on, you fighting it. Yo, why would you do this? Why would you put me out there like that?
Right.
Because, yeah, like you said, I do things. You knew you
Mhm.
did things. You knew you had these skills.
Mhm.
Maybe your
But no.
confidence wasn't all the way there, or maybe the branding wasn't all the way packaged in a way that you felt confident
Right.
to present to the people.
That's true. Yeah.
But you were obedient
Mhm.
in taking on the task,
Mhm.
responding to it
Yeah.
once, twice,
Mm.
3 times,
Mhm.
and where you were like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in a little groove now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to hear
Mhm.
because I think that's a story that a lot of people share.
Mm.
A lot of people have dreams,
Yeah.
they got thoughts, they got ideas,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't act on
Don't
them
act on it.
because
Yes.
of their own inhibitions, right? But a lot of that is rooted in fear,
You better
and
say
a
it.
lot of that is also supported by lack of
Mm.
awareness in a
Mhm.
respectful way. Because what the awareness that I'm giving you kudos for having
Mhm.
is the awareness to be able to recognize that voice that you hold dear to you, which
Mhm.
is God.
Mhm.
And as you're listening to it and as you're hearing it, you're
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Let me go ahead and do it.
I'm going to do it.
And you know what pushed me to be obedient was because my lack of obedience clearly is what got me in that place. So I might as well start listening at
Got
this
to
point.
start. You got to switch it
I
up
gotta
now.
switch it up.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
I also realized I was trying to be what everyone else told me to be up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it clearly didn't get me nowhere. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I clearly gotta do something different,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really the
And I mean,
catalyst.
there's there's also a lot of power in your vulnerability. From, of course, it's a very inspirational story, but it's not easy to speak about being homeless,
No.
especially in this day and age, right? Where everybody got it together,
Mm.
allegedly, right?
Hello.
Everybody rich,
Everybody.
everybody money is up, everybody could do everything,
I promise you.
everybody does everything, everybody did everything, went everywhere.
Everybody
Like,
started an LLC 5 minutes ago and is a millionaire right now. I mean, hate it.
you know what I'm saying? So that authenticity
Yeah.
is what really resonates with the people.
Yeah.
The
That's true.
people are always going to be able to determine what's
Yeah.
real and what's not.
That's a fact.
You can feel it because it's energy,
That
right?
part.
Energy is a real thing.
It is.
And
Yeah.
so, okay, so the fairy brandmother brand
Yeah.
is birthed.
Yep. Hmm.
So now that we feel good about, okay, that eureka moment, this is what I'm going to do moving forward.
Yeah.
Now, was there still like okay, but what do I do?
Absolutely. 100%. Cause it's just like, when you find a solution to something, there's not a just the automatic knowing how to do it all
Right,
the time. It
right,
just it's just not, like if I inherit a house right now, I don't know how to mow the lawn.
right,
I don't
right,
know how to fix the boiler. I
right,
don't.
right.
But you have to put yourself in a position to receive the knowledge to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz one thing this entrepreneurial journey has taught me is that real talk, if you take one step, like and put yourself in a position to say, okay, I'm ready to receive,
Mm-hmm.
yo, the answers will come. People will really just randomly come up to you, hey, I was looking into a 401k today, and you're like, damn, I literally just prayed about this. Like, just random stuff, trademarks or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Honest to God, everything that I know now has literally been me stepping out in faith and either asking God directly for it or starting the research, and one thing led to the next.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, immediately,
Yeah.
I still was very confused, and but I knew that because I had an unctioning to trademark it too for a while. I didn't listen for a whole year. And it was just deeply in my spirit. Like God was like, okay, this is your name, solidify it. And I was like, but God, I ain't got no money right now, and I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
requires some coins. You're gonna drop some coins from heaven.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But but I started to put the name everywhere. I just started to put it on everything.
Started to brand it.
Yeah.
Started to brand it.
And it caught like wildfire because it made sense.
Yeah.
Clearly, I had been walking in this and I didn't know.
You didn't know.
You know, and it caught like wildfire.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think also another part of this entrepreneurial journey, as you put it,
Mm-hmm.
is listening to. I hate this phrase, my tribe, right? Because yes, it is your tribe, but people overuse it and overdo it and overkill it. So,
Yeah.
but for lack of a better phrase, right? Listening to the people around you
Yes.
who were telling you, "Yo, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that?" Like, because
Mhm.
these are the people who know you.
Yes.
These are the people who care about you. These are the people who love you.
Yeah.
These are the people who understand you better than everybody else that you're trying to outsource to get support from.
Ooh,
The
say that.
support is in front of your face,
Say that.
but we trying to go over here
Mm-hmm.
to get more support.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
answers.
begging.
Mm?
We're like, yo, pay attention. No, I'm dope.
Yeah.
No, check me out
Check
though.
me out. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm dope.
Yeah.
Start with
Right here.
your community.
Mm-hmm.
Start with your community.
Better say it.
Start with your community. Start with your community.
Please.
It's right there.
Literally.
It's right there. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to outsource when it's right in front of your face.
That part.
Be obedient.
Say that.
Listen to that inner voice because you hear it, you feel it.
Yes.
You know, I'm not going to get into the different nuances of what you call the voice.
Mm.
People call it God, people call it Allah,
Mm-hmm.
people call it
Mm-hmm.
conscious,
Mhm.
people call it all different types of
Universe.
names, the universe,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to refer to it as. Listen to that and be obedient in that, and then start with your community. It's so important
Mm-hmm.
because that's how you go from inside out, and you
Out.
can spread that way. Pause. Yeah, that was
You
crazy.
know what?
That was a little crazy. You know.
Yeah.
eh.
That
um.
was good.
So yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off, but so
It's all good.
yeah, but so I'm listening to you, and yeah, you're talking about how in listening to the people around you, you were able to build that. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted you though. You were talking about we forget. Cool, that happened.
Listen,
That happens.
that happens with my ADHD all the
It's
time.
it's perfectly fine. Um, okay, so the first thing, do you remember the first thing that you did do, like that you actually locked in with after you're listening to this voice and you're like, okay, I'm gonna follow my purpose and my call, and you remember the first thing you did? Talk about that
Yeah.
in that pivot.
So the way my anointing works is you can start telling me your idea and it plays in my head like a movie. And so I then figure out how to bring it to life, how to use my hands to craft it to bring it to life from here to reality. So when I had that epiphany, like, okay, I'm the fairy grandmother, what does that look like? My mind started just imagining what she would look like,
Mm.
who that needs to be, and of course I thought about fairy wings, I thought about dust and all type of stuff.
Mm.
So I got to creating. I just got on my computer and just started creating what I wanted me to look like to represent that. And everything didn't get put out,
Sure.
but I started to create the content and put out quotes. And I created the first Fairy Brandmother logo. That logo has transitioned like at least 5 or 6 times. But I created the first one
Mm.
and I started putting it on all of my posts. That
Okay.
was the first step. And I just kept walking in it. And,
Now, what's the? I think I know the answer, but for the
Mhm.
people, what's the thinking there in stamping it on everything that you did? Why do that?
Because when it comes to branding, right? Branding is teaching people what to believe about you. Your brand is your voice when you're not in the room. Branding is the process in which you teach them to believe about your voice when you're not in the room. So I knew that I had to solidify that. I had to find a way to stand out amongst everybody else. And I had to solidify that. And I'm thankful that I've always been cutting edge. I've always been that person that thinks outside the box.
Hmm.
So my thought process was like, also because there was a sense of urgency for some reason in my spirit. I now know why, and we can get to that later.
Sure.
But there was an urgency that I needed to do this right now. And so I was like, I just gotta do it. I have to solidify who I am in the market because there's a lot of people who design.
Right.
There's a lot of people who say they do branding that have more experience, so
Mhm.
on and so forth, but they're not the fairy
They're
grandmother.
not. It's only one fairy brandmother.
Hello and good night. so yeah, that was my process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
Mhm.
Again, and I'm even learning as I'm asking these questions myself, right?
Mhm.
Um. So as a brand, because I like what you said about teaching your audience what to believe
Mhm.
about you,
Yes.
because
Yes.
essentially what you're speaking to is providing
Mhm.
a space for people to buy into what you are trying, whatever it is that you're trying to sell them.
That's right.
You have
Mhm.
to provide the
Mhm.
platform. You have to provide the space.
Yes.
You can have all of the talent and all of the, but if you don't provide the platform for that talent to exist,
That part.
then it's just in the cloud.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
very very valuable. I hope y'all are paying attention out there because that's very very valuable information, and that's a super gem that she just dropped on y'all.
Yes.
Now, in terms of creating this brand and creating this logo, rather,
Okay.
uh, was this the first time that you had done something like this as far as graphic design was concerned, or had you had some sort of experience or background in that prior to?
Mm-mm. So the first time I had to do it was when I was taking the business classes. See, God works in mysterious
Mm-hmm.
ways. We think that we're going through these trials and these things for no reason. He uses every experience.
Yeah.
Remember, I said I was
Mm-hmm.
confused. And by the end of the classes, the one of the exercises that all of us had was we needed to create marketing materials for our business that we started. God gave me the name Image Matters. I then had to change it to Our Image Matters because there's another Image Matters like in Kentucky somewhere.
Okay. And I like
Um,
our because we speaking to us.
it's
Like,
inclusive. You
come
know what
on,
I'm saying?
come on now.
Hello.
Let's not get crazy. We
Hello.
still FUBU.
Very much. Very much.
Yeah.
Finger snaps, okay?
Yeah.
Um, he gave me that name, right? And I'm thankful that it changed to Our Image Matters too. But we had to figure out a way to create marketing material. And I was like, well, how the hell am I supposed golly. So I was like, okay, I gotta come up with a logo and I have to create a banner and stuff. So I was thinking to myself, how can I make a logo out of image matters? I said, okay, I am, right? And in my mind, I was like, okay, I when you thinking of making your image matter, I'm thinking of a crown. I'm thinking of making people aware that everything that personifies you has to be a great
Like
representative of
royal.
you.
Yeah.
Royal. Like, so as I was fiddling around, and like I said, back to doing a little research, you
Mm-hmm.
got to step out. I don't know how, but I figured out how to make this logo. And the logo actually, it ended up being a crown. The M was like upside down and the I was underneath it like
Fire.
a freaking crown.
Fire.
And I don't know how the heck I did it, but I did it, right?
Fire.
I was like, Lord, I don't know how to replicate this, but woo!
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And
That's fire.
boom, that became my logo. And everybody in the class freaking loved it so much so they picked me to speak for them at the graduation.
Look at that.
Like
Look at that.
I was like, "What?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do."
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
But it's inspiring because anytime I speak to creative people,
Mhm.
they always have some story about how
Mhm.
their creativity birthed this thing,
Yes.
right? Like,
These things.
like I am that's basic, respectfully, right?
But
Like
you're
it's
right though.
very simple, it's very surface. And I'm
You're right.
sure somebody out there, a bunch of people out there can make I am super fly and super dope. So I don't want to
Mhm.
discredit that.
Yeah.
But something as simple as the M being upside down, like
Yes.
those different tweaks,
Is
that's
what
what
separates you.
that's what separates you.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
It's the details.
Mhm.
So I just like how again your whole journey is still sounding like a walk of obedience because in the midst of confusion
Mhm.
and in the midst of uncertainty,
Mhm.
you're leaning on your source
Yes.
for that reassurance.
Whew, facts. because I ain't had nothing else. I was like, well, I don't know how you want me to do this. So, so yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
You're right. And you know what? As anyone that's on their journey to building themselves, to branding themselves, to building their business or whatever, if you don't have a source higher than yourself, I,
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
I don't got nothing for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You this first of all, creativity comes
Where'd
from
you
a
think it came from? Yeah.
it's a different realm. That is not this realm that we're
So you
on right
thought you
now.
did that? You
You
thought you
thought
just
you
put
did
you
that?
put the creativity in you, huh?
Wow,
You
you're
just
so
you
grand.
that ill.
Oh,
You're not.
got it.
You're not.
Because I have to tap into something outside of me.
Mm.
I have to. All of my clients, I pray about. I go straight to God, like, okay, so what do you want me to do for them? Because He gave them that idea. He gave you that vision, that dream. It's not up to me to decide for you. It's up to me to listen what He wants for you. Come on, bars. You know
Super
what I'm saying?
bars. Super bars.
That's what separates me
Hmm.
from other people who do branding and why I'm the fairy brand mother because baby, I don't rely on myself, honey. This magic is not this is anointing. This is deeper than black girl magic. This is deeper than the plane that you think that you're looking at. Like trust me, the spiritual world is way more real than what this is.
Mm.
So,
Message.
hello.
Yeah,
And on that note,
hey now, because I mean, they call them wine and spirits.
you know
I'm
what?
sorry. All right, my bad. Damn, I'm flawed.
Praise him. God, I thank you. Okay. Listen, he said, be thankful in all things. Hayabo shata.
Ah, you are funny.
Why, thank you.
um, and again, told y'all, full of energy. And a lot of this is what I got standing in line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this
at the bar for sure.
at the bar, chilling. Like, and
Yup.
I just think there's so much value in those genuine connections,
Yes.
and there's so much value in being obedient in your walk, right? Because the event that I was at was the after party to another event that I was at to be at, but I was walking in my purpose.
You was.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So I wouldn't have been there had I not been
obedient
and walking in my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So once again, you got to walk it like you talking now.
Hello.
We in the age where everybody got a camera and a microphone.
Talk about it.
And everybody
Exactly,
talking
Tim.
about everything.
Hello.
Ain't nobody qualified to talk about half or nothing.
Good night. 'Cause I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna hold you. I need some people to put their mic down.
Mic drop. You need a mic drop?
Very much.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm walking it like I'm talking it. You're walking it like you're talking it because we're two individuals walking in our purpose and also eager. I won't say anxious, but eager to expand and elevate, right? So as we elevate, as we proceed.
Hey, give you what you need. Yeah.
How do we start making a name for ourselves now, right? Because I know you've had some relationships, some connections, you've done some work for a few people. At what point would you say for you where things actually started clicking to where you kind of got a decent little rotation going? Like, talk about that process of the consistency of people maybe seeking you out or just the brand getting some sort of recognition.
You know what's so funny? My business took off during COVID.
As many people's did.
You wanna know why? Because sometimes it takes detriment for people to see that they need to get their lives together. When COVID happened, all of a sudden people were like, oh my God, you're right. I do need a website. Oh, I do need a brand. Oh my God. Like, and that was like when things really
a lot
started.
of businesses boomed and birthed in COVID for sure.
Oh my God. Because COVID made you really realize like, oh, this job is not as safe.
This ain't gonna hold me down. They don't really care about us.
Hello.
Hey. All I really say is that they don't really care about us.
But facts,
Yeah.
because but you know what's so funny though? At that time also, I lost my job.
Mhm.
And the prayer was, Lord, I want to work for myself. Gotta be careful what you pray for.
Hey now.
I was like, Lord, I want to work for myself. I'm tired of this. He was like, okay,
Snatchies.
work for yourself. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, not this way. He was like, I got you. Just don't worry about it. It looks trash right now, but I got you. And boom, COVID happened. And of course, that looks like super trash. You're like, wow. So the whole
The
world
whole
shut
world.
down. Bye. How is this a blessing, my man? So, oh my God.
The whole
How? The whole world? You're wilding now. Like, bruh, boy, you couldn't shut down the northern hemisphere. But anyway, boy,
Word,
but
though.
no, but it
Word.
flipped around where I started getting calls after calls. And see, the enemy tried me because then my computer shut down. But then God sent 2 clients to gift me laptops at that time.
Wow. Wow.
So God held it down. He was like, no, 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 daughter, I got you. Proceed. You know, so that's when I really actually took my business more seriously, and when it started to get recognition. And then at this time, I was living in New Jersey.
Mhm.
I was also staying at a friend's house because I lost my job. I couldn't really afford a place or whatever. But I was like, Lord, respectfully, I'm good on this situation. Can you please send me my own? Like, this is kind of trash, you know? And
Yeah.
God brought me down here. And the way he brought me here was he used my best friend. She was moving here.
Okay.
She got stuck at the airport. Couldn't get on the plane because she had too many bags. I was like, all right, well, throw your stuff in my truck. We out, whatever. And she was like, oh my God, you're going to drive me? Bye, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo. We loyal. Like, let's go.
Yeah, say that.
And,
That's a fact.
and I got here. I had applied to other apartments up north, okay? I never applied nowhere in Atlanta. Why did an apartment complex call me while I was here? Like, hello, hi, Sabria. Yes, so we have an open house tomorrow. I was like, hello? Do you have the right number?
Right.
They
How do
said
you
my
even-
first and last name.
Right. That's
Okay? I was like,
crazy.
you play too much. You know, but long story short, by the time I drove back to Jersey, I was approved. I packed my truck up and bounced. I said, okay, clearly the obedience, clearly this is where he wants me to go. And when I got here is when I started gaining the celebrity clientele.
Coin. Now it's time to get
level.
funky.
Oh, level up. 5.
Mhm.
Oh no, that's a 4. 5, 4. Like since I got here, it has like catapulted. I mean, really taken off. I've dealt with some things since I've been here too.
Sure, I'm sure.
You know, but I can honestly say my business has grown and continued to grow consistently, you know, since then.
So, wow. First of all, because that's just not a normal story.
Right.
That's not a normal sequence of events.
Of events, facts, yes.
But if you subscribe to who God is
Hello.
and
You
how
know,
real he is,
you know he be doing a lot of things.
it ain't nothing about normal. Like that. That's not.
Yeah.
Don't even throw that out the
Just
out. Throw it out the
throw it in
window.
garbage. That's
You know
not,
what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
But what I also want to hear from you is a little bit about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm asking is the relationships that you began to build, whether it is some of those celebrity clients or just clients in general at a more rapid clip.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to disappointment. Speak to letdown. Because before you answer, I want to preface it by saying it like this.
Okay.
In this business of entertainment, of media, etc., you're going to deal with a lot of false promises. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You're going to deal with a lot of false promises. A lot of people going to tell you they're going to pull up, they're going to support, they're going to do this, that, and the third.
Mhm.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And what you can't do is allow 10 times of that consecutively
Yes.
to throw you off and make you throw in the towel. Because it
Mhm.
might happen 10 times consecutively.
Yes.
And in the event that that happens,
Yes.
you still have to push forward if this is what you really, really want to do.
Oh my God.
If it's really, really what you want to do. And those moments
Mhm.
happen early and often.
Yes.
They don't stop.
Yes.
They don't stop no matter what level you're on. I'm not at the highest level, but I've been doing it for a little while,
Yeah.
which is why I can speak to it.
Yeah.
So I kind of want you to speak to some of those ebbs and flows of
Mhm.
broken promises and letdowns and disappointment.
Ooh, you know, first I want to say it's unfortunate that when people hear you're a small business or black owned, that means discount. It's unfortunate. That's one thing that we got to deal with, right? Then there's the aspect of you're not popular.
Mm-hmm.
So people just think that, you know, they don't have to respect your price point, um, or acknowledge the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put in to get to where you are. So you actually have to constantly stand on business and say, this is who I am, this is my price, and learn how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to start off with that, okay? Whew. So first of all, when I came here, of course nobody knew who I was, and I've learned it's a southern thing. Southerners don't really like northerners. I peeped
Talk
that.
about it, yo. I know
I don't
y'all
know
gonna get mad,
You just gonna
but
have to be mad.
that's
Throw a
facts.
cape on and be
It's
super mad.
it's in there.
Whatever.
No, that's the thing. That's a
It
thing.
it is a
That's a thing.
thing,
That's a thing.
yo. So I hit the ground running when I got here. I started meeting all the people. Cause I'm a mover and shaker.
For sure.
You tell me that this is where I need to be, I'm going. And I just started getting like invites to places, networking rooms, and that's where I prefer to be anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I started meeting the people, gaining the connections, and I got this one connection through someone who was an event planner, and the girl calls me like, "Hey, I do branding and marketing as well, but I need you because I can't do what you do."
Yeah.
She was like, "I know the people, but I can't do what you do."
Yeah.
I was like, "Cool, I could do what I do, but I don't know the people. So let's,
Yeah,
you know
let's
what I
come
mean?
together.
Let's come together. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. I want to get my feet wet anyway, and this event was supposed to be really big with a lot of different influential people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was like, "Look, I don't got much bread." Like, I was like, "Yo, it's cool. I'm cool with exposure at this point. Like, let's do it." It started off with me doing just a logo. Then I branded what the whole conference would look like. Like, I created the presentation of what the couches would look like, the pillows, the da 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 da. Then she was like, "We might as well keep going. Let's do the website. Let's do this, do that, do that." Long story short, I branded the entire conference.
Mm.
I wasn't supposed to be in town that weekend. And I had noticed along the way, she started treating me like I was her assistant. And I'm like, "I'm going to need you to lower your tone. Like, baby,
Yeah.
like you're wilding out.
Baby.
You're bugging. Because, like, what are we talking about? Like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be colleagues.
Yeah.
What are you doing, right? But I noticed that she started kind of treating me like I'm below her.
Mm.
So when it came time for the conference, I realized I had done everything. I gracefully backed out. I was like, "All right, honestly, I don't have time for this anymore. I have other clientele. I wish you well."
Right.
I wasn't supposed to be in town that weekend, but it turned around where I was.
Okay.
I got in that conference. I saw everything. I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Everything came to life. And there was one thing that I did not brand. It was a brochure.
Okay.
I picked up that brochure, and I was not in that brochure. It was her, and it was the event planner, and it was like some other random white woman, okay?
Whoa.
Basically taking credit for everything that was created.
Yeah, woosah.
Oh!
Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Because she's still from Brooklyn. Don't get it twisted.
Oh! So, yo, I had to, like,
yeah.
my angels was like, find it. You're cute. You can't toss nothing up in here and
Yeah.
say that you created it.
Yeah.
I was like, you right. So of course I text her. Of course she ain't text me back. Huh,
It's growing.
okay.
Yeah, it's building
I
now.
said, say less. All right. Took a couple of pictures. I seen some people. I shook hands and kissed babies, and I went upstairs and I sat in and I listened and I observed. And I'm gonna be honest, my blood was hot. After
Yeah.
a while, I was like, I gotta bounce because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna knock something over.
Yeah.
So I left eventually. I then saw on social media she reposted someone that might have did a flyer for her and acted like, oh, teamwork make the dream work. I lost it.
What's going on? I
lost
don't even
it.
understand.
Oh, I lost it. But let me say this though.
Okay.
Even though that was messed up, right? It was trash. But God made me realize something. You don't have your contracts together. Had you have had your contracts, this wouldn't happen.
Couldn't
And
happen.
I was like, like I had to.
I'm so happy that you
Woo!
again, accountability is another buzzword that
Mhm.
a lot of people run from in life.
Mhm.
This ain't even got nothing to do with
Yes.
media or content creation.
Yes.
That's a life word.
Oh my goodness.
Accountability.
Oh my goodness.
So crucial.
Woo.
So important because we play a part.
Yes.
We play the part. It's our game.
We're the main character. Literally. Literally.
It's our game.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
a lot of times we
Mhm.
want to point outwardly the same way
Yes.
that you want to look outwardly for that, whether it's validation or whether
Yes.
it's that look or accept
Yes.
whatever it is, right?
Yes.
It's always somebody else's fault or somebody else
That
to
part.
blame.
Yes.
And I commend you
Mhm.
for maybe it took a few minutes or whatever, but you kind of came to like
Dang.
man, if I did have this in order, if I
In
had
place.
the business right, they couldn't play with me like that.
That part. They played in your face because you allowed them. Like, people really do what we allow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to keep it 100. Like, we can say people are trash all day. And don't get me wrong,
And
there's a lot of
And people are gonna people.
people going people.
So don't hold people against themselves. Like
No.
if you the one that's presenting or providing or etc.,
That part.
have it together.
Have it together.
Yeah.
So I needed that lesson, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it another buck. Like, since then, there's tons of times where I was overlooked because I wasn't as popular. My name wasn't as known. Or what I've also learned is when you're really gifted, people are intimidated, yo.
Yeah.
And you may not always see the gifts on yourself. Please understand that even if you're counted out, take that as a freaking compliment. Because a lot of times people will say no because they don't want you to skyrocket past them. People get intimidated or they're proud of you until you surpass the level that they expected you to be at.
I'm happy for you. Just don't do better than me.
Don't do better than me.
Yeah.
And I'm the Joseph in my family. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. So it took me a long time to learn that I've always had that coat of many colors that I did not see but other people saw. So I learned that the hate or the discrepancies against me actually was for my benefit. It was also God protecting me because
and allowing you to see it. He's putting it in front of you so that you can be able to recognize it. It doesn't resonate with you, so you know it's not for you. And then when you see it again, you know to push it to the side or ignore it or whatever.
And not all money is good money.
Not all money is good money.
I had to learn that.
That is also a fact.
That
is also a fact.
Yeah. The more you elevate, you have to say no often. If this does not align with your values, your morals, and your price point, the answer is no.
And what?
Price point.
Don't be scared to say the price is the price. Because let me tell y'all something for a second. Because I like fashion. I like to throw it on and do all of that, right? When you go into Louis, or you go into Gucci, or you go into whatever your designer store of choice.
Yes.
There is no discount. There is no clearance. Not in the store. I'm not talking about department stores. Respect to them, because I go there too. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
But if you go in the flagship store, the price, is the price. So therefore, in the event
Mm-hmm.
that you happen to come across a content creator, an entrepreneur, a business owner, anybody of the sort who
Yeah.
may not be, maybe they own a restaurant,
Yeah.
but they not Olive Garden. You know what I'm
Olive
saying?
Garden.
And
Yeah.
and you know them because y'all went to school together.
Boy, that's a whole nother conversation. Oh my
You
goodness.
pull up to support
Yeah.
this person's restaurant.
Right.
You pay the $40 for the
Pay it.
Branzino
Hello.
because that's what they charging here.
Very much.
Because that's what they saying it costs.
That's the valid
I
part.
get it. I get it. Now we could get into all other nuances, right? Because I gave a restaurant example, and you're gonna be like, all right, well, if the food is good, maybe, and if it's not, I got all of that. But
They
the
gonna
point,
argue.
yeah, the point is the price is the price. You can't argue with these other brands that y'all don't argue with. Y'all go in the flagship store to brag that you got it from the flagship store, to brag that you paid more than everybody else.
Say that.
So
Say
pay
it.
more.
Pay it.
Pay the money.
My goodness.
It's
Hello.
not hard. And at the same time, we're not even charging what Louis and Gucci is charging anyway.
I mean, like, please say that again, cause
We not even charging what Louis and Gucci is charging anyway. These shirts is for sale, by the way, as well.
period.
Just a shameless plug. But I'm not charging what Gucci and Louis is charging. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't, and that's cool. I'm not begging, but the price is the price. I'm sorry, that was a soliloquy. Continue.
No, well, first of all, that was bars. You actually had a whole cipher, like, to be quite honest. Number one. Number two, I'm getting shirts, respectfully. Whatever your price is, I'm paying it. You know what I mean? And third, yes. I mean, we talk about how much we need support in our community.
Yeah.
We are our own freaking oppressors at this point.
Mm.
We cannot blame nobody else anymore.
Mhm.
It's so evident that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We are our own freaking oppressors.
Yeah.
How do you work hard and take extra shifts to buy the Louis bag, but the moment that I tell you I have a boutique, you ain't even showing up?
You didn't show up. And you told me
Wow.
you was going to come, too.
Bye.
You told me you was going to
You
come.
did. I got it in the text messages. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I cater my stuff for you specifically. This brand don't even know who you are.
Mhm.
They don't even care who you are.
Mhm.
I particularly know what we need as people. And anyway, I digress. That is definitely some of the things that I've dealt with. I've had instances where I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Things were slow, and I've had clients like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay the invoice," and then don't ever pay it, and then would come back months later and tell me how they paid more somewhere else, and they need me to fix it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It
Zoom
don't.
in.
It don't.
If you do it right the first time,
Crazy. Yo, how
Crazy work.
disrespectful, though.
boy. And then now I have to fight with my spirit and my petty side.
Come on.
Because now I want to charge you double because you got me messed up. Bye. Hear me and hear me well. You really do get what you pay for.
Mm.
Stop trying to get discounts. Stop trying to cut under. Because I'm telling you right now, when you cut corners, you actually end up paying more. You end up paying for the mistakes, for the damage that was done, because the person that you thought was qualified really wasn't.
They weren't.
They didn't do their research. They don't have the certifications. They didn't do their due diligence or earn their stripes to know you got to put a certain level of concrete in the foundation for it to sustain against all weather conditions.
Mhm.
Like, you got to really pay attention to these things.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this too. It's easy to come here to Atlanta and act like you are somebody.
Oh,
easy.
man, she's talking to the people today.
It's easy. So you really have to do your research, honestly.
Yeah, because, listen, we were joking off camera about, just being of a certain age and like reflecting on like, damn, like after a while you start talking like your parents, right? And it's
Ooh
funny.
wee.
It's
'Cause
funny, right? Like I've heard my parents say that about themselves and when they started talking about like their parents, so on and so forth, right?
yes.
So some of y'all could relate, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I bring that up because some of those old sayings that we've heard our whole life,
Mm-hmm. Apply.
they still apply. Like
Swear they
they
do.
like it still
They,
hits.
yeah.
Everything that
It
glitter ain't
does.
gold.
Ooh wee. And you don't understand it until you get to a certain level of
It's
wisdom.
not official, yo.
Yo.
It's not official.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
the thing about it is listen to that inner voice, listen to your
Yeah.
spirit, listen to your intuition, another
Yes.
word, right? Whatever you frame it as,
Yes.
listen to it. Let that be your guide.
Yes.
Allow that to be
Yep.
your guide rather because it's there, you just pushing it out or you suppressing it. Allow it to be your guide. It's the real you.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
It
It's
really
your
is a
compass.
compass.
Yeah. Come
Jinx.
on. So I think that's I think all of those points that we kind of just made are very profound points and even some of those examples that you gave. I
Mhm.
hope that y'all are paying attention because this is not like we're not complaining.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is not
Mhm.
we're not pouting about it.
Mhm.
Um I certainly don't hear you as doing any of those things. I hear someone who's in it, who's
Mhm.
doing it and who's just sharing the experience of what it's like. I think you should listen to it because she's sitting here. And if she's
That
sitting
part.
here, that means she's qualified to have
Right.
the conversation.
Hello.
So therefore,
Yeah.
pay attention to what's being said here. It's a lot of gems being dropped, as I already mentioned, and I think
Mhm.
that it's important to kind of take note to it so that you don't have to go through some of those. Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
That's the part. You know, I had this conversation on another podcast. My I have another client. She branded a podcast called the Speak Easy Experience. She's in Philly. One of the things we spoke about was the fact that unfortunately, a lot of things aren't passed down because the generation before us
Mhm.
feels I got it through the mud, so you got to get it through the mud too. So I'm gonna let you suffer.
Get all your bruises
I'm gonna let you. When really and truly, you're supposed to pave the way.
and help a brother or a
Help,
sister out.
damn!
Yeah.
Can I get some inheritance? Golly, like, but but real talk, we go through things because we're supposed to pass down the
Yeah.
knowledge. There's someone right now that's connected to your yes and your obedience. Your obedience really is a make or break for someone else. Like there's people that can't make it over that mountain
Right.
without you telling them that they can. Real talk.
Yeah.
Like some people are really assigned to your path.
Mhm.
So pass it down. It's not that serious. You don't lose by telling
And you don't
people,
own it because you got it from somebody or somewhere else yourself.
hello.
You know what I'm saying? So whether it's
Yeah.
information or finances or
Mm,
position, if you got the job and you in position and maybe you could put your man or your girl on, put them
hello.
on.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or as an entrepreneur, because we're in this space,
Yes.
if you have information, because that's what people are hoarding the most.
That part.
People are
Intellectual
hoarding
property.
information. And
Yes.
as you should make sure that your intellectual property is
It's protected.
protected,
You better
you
you better say the thing.
got to make sure that your
Yeah.
intellectual property is protected.
Absolutely.
However,
Mm-hmm.
that should not hinder you from
Share.
spreading love the Brooklyn way.
Hello.
You
Cause
know what I'm saying?
we
It
share.
shouldn't it shouldn't hinder you from being able to say, "Oh, you do such and oh, I got a so and so that you might not even have nothing to do with that."
Say
But it
that.
didn't cost you nothing. You got to connect. What I
Yeah.
mean, if anything, it's going to make you bigger or more lit. I don't get it
That part.
because people think that they own things that they
Yes.
don't own.
Yes. Uh-huh. And if your fist is closed, you can't receive either.
Wow, that was a ball. I never heard that one.
All day
I don't
though.
know if that was a oldie but goodie or
It
what, but
it
that was
is.
bars.
Listen, the wise would tell me that when I was a kid, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" You know. But it's true. Your
Mhm.
fist is closed. You can't receive anything either, and you never know. You opening your mouth and sharing, you might share with the person that has the blessing for your next.
Yes,
So it don't make sense to
the
keep it
hoarder,
in.
yeah.
And respectfully, we're supposed to die empty. God didn't give us these gifts and this knowledge and these
To hold it
experiences
all.
to hold it.
Yeah. Like, what
That
if you're
makes
the
no
most
sense.
creative person ever? And this might be also somebody watching. So again, we have these moments in the pod where I just like to like let it be an inspirational moment. So like,
Yeah.
you might be watching, right? And to what you just said, it might be somebody else that is supposed to be in your path
Right.
to where you're supposed to see them, receive the information, and be that spark and inspiration to get you to the next level, right? So,
Mhm.
like, if you don't allow yourself, I guess, the ability to be paying attention, again, it's recycling the same thing, but I think it's the same message, and I think we might have to hear it multiple times in order for it
Right.
to sink and seep
Mhm.
in, right?
Mhm.
Pay attention to what's right in front of your face.
You better pay attention.
Right about this word. Like I be singing that randomly too. Like word. Like if you want to be somebody, you want to
better-
go somewhere.
Hello, you better pay attention.
Oh, she messed up. It's wake
Oh
up.
wait.
Yeah,
Oh
wake
my
up.
bad.
Come on. One,
Oh no.
two.
No,
eh,
I don't remember it.
Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry.
Y'all seen the movie. um. Yeah, so now another thing that now here this might be a little tidbit that maybe y'all may not know, but we also were speaking off air, and I understand that you have some sort of like IT background, is it?
Oh my God, yes.
Like talk about that because I don't see a lot you don't see a lot of women
Yeah.
in IT, you don't see a lot of black women in IT.
Mm.
With the climate today, IT is more prevalent today than ever, right?
Yes.
So, like, I don't know what sector or what your specialties are or were,
Mhm.
but kind of speak a little bit about that world because, again, that's valuable information as well.
Yes. And you know what? My whole life is a movie, man. Every
Word.
time I talk about an accomplishment or an instance, like a major event in my life, it came through trials and tribulations. So I didn't go into college right out of high school.
Okay.
I went to high school in Queens. I'm from Brooklyn, of course, but I spent my teenage years in Queens. That's a whole nother story. You'll find that in my book.
Yeah.
But when I finally was like, okay, I want to go to college because I want to get something that's going to help me keep a job or create a career. I originally wanted to go to school for audio engineering.
Mm.
So I used to do music. It's a whole nother story. We're not going there. Everybody calm
She didn't
down.
want to do the wake up and pay attention, so we're gonna let that bus pass.
You bet. No, I'm joking. So, but I did, and I wanted to go for audio engineering. Unfortunately, my mother, you'll find out about her in the book. She's never been supportive, and she didn't want to sign the papers for me to go to school.
Mm.
So I was like, bruh, like I just want to go to school,
Right.
And so I said to myself, well, what can I go for, that I can always get a job in? And that was technology, right?
Smart.
And I've always been a person since I was a kid. People would make fun of me about it, like, "Oh, you're a goody two shoes. You can do everything," you know. And I didn't realize that was a gift. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Because you know kids is mean, so we gonna
Kids
tease
is
you
mean
and
as
clown
hell.
you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, you know everything. Well, you're slow. I don't know.
You don't know anything.
Bye. But anyway, it made me ostracize. It made me make myself small because of that.
Mm.
So, but I said, you know what? Technology is continuously growing. Let me get in some way, somehow. I like computers. So I was like, maybe I'll go into programming, whatever, right? So I found a way to get into the school. I forged my mother's signature.
That's real.
And
I mean,
it's going to keep it 100.
clearly you're a woman, but the phrase is that's real nigga shit.
Said what I said.
Real nigga shit.
Did what I did. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
And I got into TCI, the Technical Career Institute. They're not even around anymore now.
Really? Is that in New York?
Yes.
Okay.
It was in Manhattan,
I don't remember
by
TCI,
Penn
but-
Station.
Okay.
They're
damn.
not around anymore
Okay.
now. But the Technical Career Institute, I took up information technology as a degree. So I learned programming, networking, microprocessing, that type of stuff. I graduated with a 3.98 GPA.
She's smart too.
Straight up gang shit, you know what I'm saying? So But I almost like took up a double degree because I actually was like, oh, this is
You was
fine.
feeling
I
it.
like
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
But what's funny is when right before I graduated, I got an internship at a company called VizRT. They create the graphics for weather channels and sports channels. So like the tickers that you see
Yeah,
along the
yeah.
screen, they create those graphics.
Okay.
I got an internship there, and the guy that was teaching me, he quit at the when I graduated.
Mm.
So I was the only one that paid attention in the internship. So they gave me the job. I actually ended up building and fixing the computers at that company. And I was there for a few years. And I'm going to say this too. I was the only black person on that company.
For sure.
And I was treated as the only black person in that company. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
And a woman.
And
Were you the only woman?
no,
Okay.
but I was the only
You
black
was the only black woman. So
woman.
that unfortunately put you
Whoo,
further
glory.
down. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It was different. But one thing I appreciated was I would sit in the server room with all the computers by myself.
Mm.
I loved it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Everybody leave me alone.
Let me-
I
yeah.
love the solitude. Close the door behind you, please. That was my saving grace.
Okay.
And I trained a lot of system engineers of all ethnicities. They all went on to make more money than me. So
Today or just so far?
at that time,
At that time. Yeah.
because I don't know what they're doing now, but as a business owner, I'm 100% sure I'm going to be a millionaire and a billionaire,
Yeah.
and I'm going to make way more. I'm not worried about it now.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is my background. I am ex-IT professional. I can still code. I can still fix your computer.
Gotta stop
I can take
you.
it apart. I
Gotta
can.
stop you.
Oh wow.
You're not an ex.
I'm sorry. Wow.
Because you didn't forget how to do it.
Touche. You're right.
You might be a little rusty, maybe, but you ain't forget. You got the information. You got way more information than so many other people
Lot
have.
more. That's true.
And that is to your advantage in today's day and time.
Touche.
It puts you at an advantage because people won't even see that coming. They won't see that coming from
Nope.
you. As somebody, let me ask you this. As far as your business is concerned, how many people are operating partners in your business?
Right now it's just me.
Exactly. I knew the answer to that. That was a trick. I ain't know I set her up. That was a trick question.
You set me up. You did.
So you're doing it. So
Yeah.
that is an advantage that people aren't going to expect from you because you already have this amazing brand. You already have the ability to turn vision into reality.
right.
But now with the tech background, come on, stop. Like,
Right.
so-
Touche.
so,
Right.
and we do these things, right? Because we've been told our whole life to be humble.
Mm.
And so a lot of times what we do is we dim our
Dumb it
shit a
down.
little too much.
Yes.
I deal with the same thing,
Yeah.
right? I deal with the same thing. It's like when you're gifted and you're able to do a few things
You try to
because you know how the perception could be. The perception could be, oh, he or she do all of this, he or she think he all of that.
right.
And it's like,
yeah.
no, I just do all of this and I
Yeah.
do all of that. Like I
Exactly.
mean,
It
I
is
don't
what
know
it
what
is.
like what you want me to
That's
do.
like someone that has multiple degrees. I'm confusion.
Yeah, like I don't.
Are
You,
you
so you
upset
don't
that
want
we
me to.
have
You
5
don't
degrees?
want me to say I have 3 degrees if I have 3
3
degrees.
degrees because I have them. So
Like
yeah.
so, I think that kind of makes us innately be overly humble or overly
Mhm.
modest is a better word.
That's yeah. Yeah.
And
Mm,
I think and also as a child of God,
come on, because I am.
you're not trying to overly like boost your own ego.
Of course.
So I understand the
Yeah.
thinking,
yeah.
and this is opinion based. This ain't rooted in no book, so don't kill me. But I personally believe that modesty. There's value in modesty and all of those things,
yeah.
but there's a time and a place, right? So like when it's time to step out, chin up, chest out, and let everybody know this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I come with, so on and
Yeah.
so forth. We got to do that with the utmost confidence. And whoever's uncomfortable, that's a them thing. It's not a you thing.
Ooh, I learned that.
It's not a you
Yeah.
thing.
It's not.
You walk in the room, you demand attention, you demand this, that, and the third. That is a you thing.
Yeah.
And
And how they feel about it is a them
that's a
thing.
them thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. So I would just encourage you to not say things like that because it's power in the tongue.
You're
Pause.
right. Touche.
And it's power in our words,
You're
right?
right.
So
Fair enough.
we don't want to put
A cap
certain
on.
things. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. I'm
You
an
are an
IT
IT
professional.
professional.
Hello, I'm the Fairy Brandmother, and I'm an IT
There
professional.
we go. That's you need to get that drop. That's beautiful. um. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Fairy Brandmother sounds like a movie.
And it is.
It sounds like a hell of a story.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned book.
Oh boy. You
Is
be
there?
listening.
Is there
Yes, there
any
is.
plans for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Are there?
I
Are there any plans?
there is yeah, yeah. So yes. I'm gonna say this. It took me a long time to get to a place where I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I have been through a lot in my life. Like I said, I'm the Joseph in my family. If you read the Bible, even if you don't, just go ahead and look up the story of Joseph. Okay. Um, just to give you a quick smidgen
Hmm.
of where I came from. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I've been to jail. I've been in a gang. I have sold drugs. I have done a lot in my life. And I am a completely different person now because of God saving me. I've survived abuse on so many different levels. And it took me a long time to get to a place where I can talk about it now and not feel emotional or feel like a victim. And people have been asking me, I need to know more about you because I don't talk about myself a lot. I
Hmm.
really don't. I'm so busy branding your
Everyone else.
business,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I've gotten certain spaces where going back to obedience and paying attention to what people say, God will let you know what your next is. Just listen. All you have to do is listen to what the people are asking you for. That is an unction. That is a part of it because you have the inner voice. Sometimes you don't listen. Sometimes God has to send other people to.
To show you.
And I can't tell you how many people were like, "So when's the book coming?" And I'm like, "Huh."
Hmm.
I'm writing my book to tell about my story, and it is called "The Psalms of a Broken Healer."
Mm.
And yeah,
Fire.
thank you. I am telling my full story,
Hmm.
not just how I started my business, because that's not where it started.
Right.
It took me a while to even get there.
Sure.
Hell, even how I became homeless is a story within itself.
Sure.
Um, I'm writing my book, and yeah.
First of all,
Kinda.
congratulations
Thank
for
you.
starting the process.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Um, I think maybe
Mm-hmm.
I could see
Mm-hmm.
myself exploring that idea. I don't know if it would
You
be.
should.
I don't know if it would be a full-on autobiography or if it will focus on a particular story. But I do like, excuse me, I do like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I commend you on that. I want to ask a quick question about it. Are you well? Because I know it's beginning stages or what have you. But like, do you have someone else translating it for you, or are you writing it all you're on your own, or how?
I'm writing it myself.
Because that book writing thing it's a whole
It's a
process.
whole
Yeah.
process. So I design everything, right? And I've designed workbooks and stuff like that. But when you're writing an autobiography, like your actual story or a novel, it is absolutely a different process
Okay.
because you have to look into grammar. Not saying that a workbook doesn't require grammar, but it's
Hmm.
just a different process. And right now, I am writing it myself. Of course, I designed the cover and everything, but I'm writing it right now. But I am going to give it to an actual editor to go through to make sure that it's like grammatically correct.
Sure.
Although I want the ebonics all in there. I want y'all to know I said, okay. I want y'all to know that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because
Yes.
you're in IT, and if
Yes.
it's too much, we can cut it, whatever. But
Uh-huh.
what have you thought about the idea of?
Audio.
Yes.
Ah, I knew you was going to say it.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
Because honestly, I feel like reading something as opposed to you hearing me saying it myself is completely different.
It is.
Because my personality pops out. Anyone that has met me or knows me knows I'm bubbly. Okay. Although I'm an introverted extrovert. Don't get it twisted. But it's just different. It's a different
It is
feeling.
a different experience altogether. Yeah.
You bring them into, so I do want to do both. I do want to do both. And funny enough, God has me working on that with another client.
So
So
now you get to see what it's like.
the process.
Yeah.
And it was my first time. I've now created 5 books for this client now. So I know what to do for myself. And I looked at it like, all right, Lord, I see what you're doing. So I'm going to do both. I am going to do both. And I think the audio, I'm going to keep it 100. It's funny that you mentioned it like a movie. I can see it being a series, not just a movie. Like I've envisioned a movie, but there's so many like pivotal moments have happened in my life. I think it needs to be a show. It needs to be a series because there's so many lessons I've learned that needs to be like highlighted
Yeah.
in each season in my life, in adolescence, in pubescence, in adulthood, in you know
All of it.
all of it. I really believe like I didn't go through all of this for no reason.
And you absolutely didn't. Which is a beautiful full circle moment that you have decided to, what's the word I'm looking for? Compress it all into this particular book or this story. And that in itself can have a bunch of different legs, right?
Yes.
Because you have the story as the nucleus, you have the book, audio, the series, the whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it can have a whole bunch of different legs.
Yes.
But that's all part of being a creative and just taking advantage of your skill set and combining that with your story, your journey, with that obedience combo in that pot of gumbo come out and make sure that you get the product that you'll be proud of, that other people will enjoy and need. They'll consume to be able to help them, right? Because it also sounds like your business model doesn't even particularly have anything to do with you. Your business model is about uplifting and serving other people,
100%,
right? And making their vision and brands come to life. So that what goes around comes around, and what you reap what you sow, and what goes up must come down. Like that whole thing.
Yes.
It is, and it will continue to come full circle for you and happen for you. It's just a matter of the timing, his timing, and it's happening. So, shout out to you for, like I said, just starting that process.
Thank you.
Because I mentioned on a previous episode that starting is more than half of the battle.
It really is, though. It is.
Like, I'll make the biggest correlation for people watching. One of the hardest things to do, or one of the hardest things for people to do, is to start going to the gym.
Ooh-wee.
It's the start going. You got it in your mind. You got it on your vision board. You done told your homegirl. You done told your friends. I'm going to start on Monday. Or I'm going to start right after New Year's. Or right after. You got the plan. You got the words. You got the all of that.
Yeah.
But you still got to get in your car and drive to the spot.
Oh, Lord.
Now, if you go through the liberty of getting dressed, getting in the car, going all the way there and showing up, now you got to work out.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't as hard to work out once you're there.
Once you're there. That's true.
But you got to take that first step. So I commend you again on just taking the first step. Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to read it. Can't wait to see it. Because I do believe all of those things will, in fact, happen. And so before we get out of here, are there any other things that you would like to make the people aware of? Have them know what's coming down the pipeline, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. So, of course, aside from the book, I also have a podcast. Hooray! It is called the Brand Voice Podcast. So the first season, I knew that I had to start it. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of just was going out on a whim. It ended up being my diary.
Mm.
My goal was to give business tips and ideas and teach you about branding, right? So I was like, you're now listening to the Brand Voice Podcast, the home of all things graphically inclined, the place where businesses meet to get the tea, starring your host, the Fairy Brandmother. Right?
You're
That was
professional, man. That sounds good. Sounds good. I feel like I
you.
heard that ad somewhere before. Like
That was the first season. And then God made me realize how much entrepreneurs need a platform to unpack. Entrepreneur therapy, basically. And I was like, bruh, Will. Okay. So yeah. But yo, and he made me realize, like, I just had an epiphany one day because I was kind of stuck with restarting it. And I had an epiphany one day, and God was like, we need to learn the voice behind the brand because we teach you what to believe about us. That's the branding, right? So you think I got it all together. You think that I'm the fairy grandmother and I'm prancing all around. You have no idea. I go home and I'm losing my freaking mind because I'm a mom and the dog just ate up my damn mail, okay? And then my daughter, I told her to clean her damn room, but she ain't listen. Whew. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things we deal with. We're still human. So now the brand voice is a safe space for entrepreneurs to unpack and teach us the voice behind the brand or allow us to get to know the voice behind the brand. So I'm coming back out with that.
And I am intrigued. So I got to be on there.
I mean, yeah.
Got to be on there. Sorry.
I mean,
Coming soon.
yeah.
When you'll see it when it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I mean,
willing, of course.
I mean, you had no choice. I was gonna drag you on there anyway.
I believe that. I believe that. But it's fine, though. But I love that.
Thank you.
Because, again,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say this to you and the people simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Finding a void in the space is more important than jumping into the space.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of another podcast like that.
Mm.
I don't know of one. First of all, I've never in my life heard entrepreneur therapy. I don't know. That's what you said, right?
Yes, I did.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that the concept, for one, is unique enough to stand out and at least get people to be like, okay, well, let me check that out because it's unique.
Yeah.
The problem is everybody's monkey see, monkey do.
I swear.
And it's way harder
Yeah.
to be monkey see, monkey do
Mm.
because you already are a different person. So you could just be whoever you are.
That part.
And then people will see that and decide whether they want to fuck with you or not.
That part.
Now, don't be mad if they don't want to rock with you. That's another separate.
That's something else. That's something else. We can't control that. I don't know what to say.
Like, that's a whole different vibe.
Respectfully. Respectfully. I don't know. Respectfully. And you know what? Listen, don't get up on the brand voice now trying to act like somebody else because you're going to get called out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, you see me here, I'm 100% this way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do not switch up. There's no reason for me to be anybody else. It's daunting and exhausting. It's exhausting being me. Like, but I'm going to let you know, it's giving copycat. I'm going to need you. Can you, like, unbutton your brassiere, please? Like, come on. Let's keep it 100. Because this couch is for you to, like,
unleash or unpack, rather.
Yeah, unpack. Because as humans, we are taught, we're taught we're supposed to keep it all together. We're supposed to, balance a whole bunch of things and get the degree and go to the gym and eat healthy while also not judging people. It's too many things.
A lot. And then to add on to that, right, because there's two different dynamics, even in just us two, right? Because as women, y'all are conditioned to hold it all together for different reasons. Yeah. And then as men, we're conditioned to hold it in all together for different reasons, right? So, like, we all walking around holding in a bunch of shit that's
together.
How heavy.
Acting like we ain't losing our shit behind the scenes. Hello. It's okay.
It's all right, because we human. And everybody's going through a variation of the same or similar thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I appreciate that platform. And yes, I you haven't formally said it, but I formally accept.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks.
So yeah,
Okay. Hooray.
I think I think that's dope. So please make sure that y'all are on the lookout for that as well. So we got the
Mhm.
podcast,
Yes.
we got the book.
Mhm.
Fairy Brand Mother
Yeah.
is the brand.
Is.
She helps bring brands to life. She helps bring your vision to life.
Yes.
Um, I think I've hit most of my points. I want to do kind of like some kind of sidebar quick hits, right?
Okay.
Um, so I just want to just throw out a couple random things out there, and I just want you to tell me
Okay.
what's the first thing
Uh-huh.
that comes to mind.
Okay.
This is gonna be random. I don't plan these. This is off the top of the off
Okay.
the top of the dome, sipping what's
Okay.
in the cup.
Oh wow. Okay. Let me
Um,
see. Uh huh.
uh,
Mhm.
first thing that comes to mind,
Mhm.
MTV.
Oh man, nostalgia. MTV was a fire time to live. Like
Yeah.
that was a time when what came on TV made sense. You looked forward to the groups that was about to pop up on MTV. Like you made it if you went to MTV. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that was a good time.
That was a great
That
time.
was such a great
And
era.
it was like trying to like we couldn't wait to be a part
Oh,
of
yeah.
the shits, whether it was
Yes.
spring break or whatever.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
I used to make cassette tapes at the time
yeah.
for all my high school and junior high school friends. So I would like wait until at night was when they played the new music,
Hmm.
right? All the new hits, and before it hit 106 and Park and all of that, I would put it on a CD or a cassette tape and come to school like and I would have the lyrics too, like just what they said. Like, ooh, I was listening.
Yeah,
That was such a time. That
was
was a
a
great
vibe.
time. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. First thing that comes to mind, fashion.
Me.
Great answer. Great answer. And
Uh-huh.
I accept.
Mhm.
Um, first thing that comes to mind,
Mhm.
Brooklyn.
Me. Biggie. You know what I'm saying? All day, hometown. Like Lil Kim. Yo. It's a me, a Mario. No.
um,
Mhm.
this is left field. Forgive me ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
First thing that comes to mind,
Mhm.
Diddy.
Truth is I'm tired. Options of you. This nigga in jail. But where are you? Yo. Ooh wee. No, real talk though, the first thing that come to mind is first of all, we've been talking about this. Those of us that are 80s babies,
Mhm.
we been knew what was happening.
Mhm.
So I'm very much confusion as to why y'all niggas is acting like this is new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like, yo, karma got everybody address. Moving on to the next. I also think that this is a distraction right now, but I digress.
Yeah. Because that's another pod.
My
That's
God up in heaven.
definitely.
That's episode 2.
Yeah,
That's-
that's definitely another pod for sure.
Mhm. Mm.
Um, first thing that comes to mind,
Mhm.
qualified conversations.
God qualifies those he calls.
Mm.
That's the first thing that comes to mind because we think we have to have all of these credentials to show up somewhere, but honestly, the most qualified people are the ones that God calls because he gives you the qualifications. So that's the first thing that comes to mind is God qualifies who he calls.
I can't even. I would be a fool to try to ask another question. After
No.
that. That's ridiculous.
No.
Crazy.
Bars.
First of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
Second of all, thank you again
Mhm.
because I appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate your story. I appreciate you sharing it with me, with
Yeah.
those watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to let people know where they can follow you and where they can get in tune with you so that
Yeah.
they never miss another post from the Fairy Brandmother.
Period. Oh my God, thanks. So, Hey everybody, I am the Fairy Brandmother. In case you're just tuning in, I build brands that stay in demand and I bring vision to life. You can find me on Instagram and Threads as the Fairy Brandmother. Okay, if you see somebody else, let me know. I'm gonna serve them a cease and desist. Okay. On Facebook, I am Our Image Matters LLC. I'm not on Twitter. I don't do the Twitters. I am on the TikToks now. I'm the Fairy Brandmother on there too, but I'm not really on there. My daughter actually took over that account, so don't pay attention to that one. Maybe later on I'll. And my website is also thefairybrandmother.com.
All right. And y'all already know, y'all should know where to follow me, but tap into me, Life as I See It, on all platforms.
Hmm.
This has been another episode of Qualified Conversations,
Hmm.
and we will sign off as we do always. Everything Rico.
Suavemente, suave, suave, suave. Suavemente.